Deep inside the dense Siberian taiga sits a geographical anomaly. Out of an endless sea of green pine trees rises a perfectly conical mound of shattered gray rock. This single formation measures 160 meters wide, stands 40 meters tall, and contains over 1 million tons of fragmented limestone. Geologist Vadim Kolpakov discovered the site in 1949, and almost immediately the crater baffled the scientific community and triggered decades of intense speculation. Early researchers suspected a connection to the sky. Specifically, they wondered if this cone was carved out by a heavy fragment of the famous Tunguska meteor, which exploded over Siberia in 1908. As the Cold War escalated, the theories grew darker. Some questioned if the crater was the byproduct of a covert Soviet nuclear test, or perhaps an exhausted, top-secret uranium mine. The primary issue was that geologists simply did not know when the crater formed. Without a clear timeline, the door was left wide open for every possible explanation, from a buried extraterrestrial craft to a supernatural curse. Shattered inorganic bedrock is notoriously difficult to date with any high degree of precision on its own. Researchers eventually shifted their focus away from the silent stone toward the living wood standing directly beside it. This historical photograph shows a park ranger pointing to the concentric growth rings of a massive tree trunk. This is known as the science of dendrochronology. By counting and measuring how a tree grows year by year, researchers can pinpoint exactly when historical environmental events occurred. The Siberian forest acts as a literal biological hard drive. It meticulously records the Earth's geological history in its wood, waiting for someone to extract the data. Siberian larches are incredibly resilient organisms. In this specific environment, they routinely survive and grow for up to 1,000 years. This heat map visualizes the tree age data in the forest surrounding Potomsky, and it reveals a glaring anomaly. There is a stark, empty void right at the crater's perimeter. In this specific zone, absolutely 0 trees are older than 480 years. This absolute cutoff point indicates that a massive geological event wiped out the immediate forest around the year 1500. A 500-year-old crater instantly rules out a 1908 meteor strike, and it safely dismisses the ancient alien crash theories. The dates confirm that Potomsky is a highly localized, relatively young, and strictly terrestrial formation. But the biological hard drive also reveals that the crater's creation was not a one-and-done event. The forest shows distinct signs of ongoing data corruption. This photograph of the mossy forest floor shows several thin, heavily leaning large trees. Researchers found deep mechanical scars and violently bent trunks across the forest that date precisely to the years 1841 and 1842. This archival image shows a hillside covered in violently felled tree trunks. The scars on the surviving larches were caused by a secondary, violent geological pulse that sent giant limestone boulders rolling down an expanding outer cone, crushing the regenerating forest in its path. Potomsky is a highly dynamic structure. It has been breathing, shifting, and violently expanding in multiple pulses over a span of more than 300 years. The eerie local legends and conspiracy theories often pointed to the fact that the trees around the crater exhibit sudden, abnormal growth spurts, which many eagerly blamed on radiation from UFOs or nuclear fallout. This close-up, top-down view of a tree stump reveals the reality of that environmental data. You can clearly see the abnormally wide growth bands expanding outward. These growth spurts are not radioactive mutations. They occurred because the crater slowly vents warm, deep-seated fluids and carbon dioxide, effectively acting as a localized greenhouse that fertilizes the nearby soil. This thermal activity, tracked over centuries by the tree rings, pointed geologists toward a broader terrestrial explanation, a phreatic explosion. Deep beneath the surface, magmatic fluids and gases rushed up this tectonic fault line from the Earth's mantle. When these superheated fluids hit a shallow layer of groundwater, they instantly flashed into highly pressurized steam, violently blowing the limestone bedrock upward. This rare, steam-driven eruption is responsible for pushing 1 million tons of rock to the surface, accomplishing the feat without a single drop of lava. The Potomsky crater reveals the vast Siberian interior as an active, evolving environment, characterized by deep-seated geothermal pulses. Our planet is constantly undergoing violent, chaotic changes, reshaping its surface through immense heat and pressure. Yet despite this chaos, the Earth meticulously archives its own history. From cosmic impacts to underground steam explosions, the evidence is preserved in the biology that survives the blast. The most violent secrets of our planet are written year by year in the quiet rings of a forest. We just have to know how to read them. What geographical mystery should we investigate next? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the anomalies of our planet.